This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
Greetings, blessings, and good fortune, everybody. We got another Thursday on our hands. We're over here at the McAllen Creative Incubator, coming live from 97.7 KCYP, The City, out of McAllen, Texas. We're also going out on YouTube. We're going out on Facebook. We're going out on TuneIn Radio and Radio Garden. Two good apps that you can listen to radio around the world, and the Bitcoin Otter Show. Yeah, that's going to be cool if you enjoy that kind of stuff. If not, hey, we're on Facebook Live right now. We're going off the Christopher Ott and the Bitcoin Otter live feed, as well as 97.7 on Facebook also. So we're going to be looking at this chat room here because, gee willikers, everybody, it's going to be a wild one, man. This whole run up until the midterms is going to be a wild ride. I think it would be how would you say it? It would be a very big surprise to all of us if things went off without a hitch. I do not suspect that is going to happen. Not at all. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going without notes, right? We're going without notes here. So I'm going to go into some familiar, if you will, familiar places. This one here is texmetals.com. I'm going to give you the silver price, which is much more important right now than gold. So silver is $76.80 per ounce. Why is it more important than gold, in my opinion? Again, I don't have a tie. I'm not a financial advisor, but regular people like you and me can actually get, hey, Barry, good to see you. Good to see you. Regular people like you and me, Barry, we can get an ounce of silver if we want one. But gold at $4,954 an ounce, that's a little out there for a guy like me. Hopefully you all are in better positions than I am financially, but the fact of the matter is I'm not going to be buying gold anytime soon. Now, Bitcoin, let's check that one out from CoinMarketCap. That's the one I use. You could also use CoinGecko if you're into that stuff, whatever you like to do. Wow. Opportunity knocks, ladies and gentlemen. Opportunity knocks. $66,390 for one Bitcoin. We're looking at, my favorite data is 20 cents and T-Fuel for 1.4 cents. Not even a cent and a half, more or less a cent and a half for one T-Fuel. I don't know if I've really explained all that to everybody, how that works with T-Fuel and so forth. But you, ladies and gentlemen, can actually be part of a decentralized AI network. You got an old laptop laying around, an old desktop laying around, hook it up to the internet. You stake 10,000 T-Fuel, which again is 1.5 cents. So, you know, it's definitely attainable. And every job that little computer of yours does, you get paid out in T-Fuel. So it wasn't always a cent and a half. Its all-time high is 68 cents. So if we hit it, we hit it. If not, hey, let's not spend the rent money on it, right? So here's some of the stuff I want to talk about today. Again, no notes, Ma, no notes. So some of the things I want to talk about, and hopefully you do too, are, you know, just different crazy things that are going on around us. And some of them have just completely, poof, gone away. Right, Elon Omar? Right? Yeah. Brother, marry your brother, why don't you, Elon? Oh, you already did that. Well, I wouldn't have to tell you to do that again. XRP, says Barry. XRP. Let me tell you, I don't know anything really precisely, but I can tell you, if the crypto revolution occurs, if the shackles that have been, you know, strapping down the crypto market for just about forever, maybe every once in 4 years, does it have a real spike? If those are taken away, XRP is going to be, I believe, a top mover. Not only is it going to be a top mover, it's going to be a top utility token. Why do I say that? XRP is from Ripple Labs, and to my limited knowledge, Ripple Labs built XRP to be a transactional network, a transactional blockchain network. Okay. So as banks come up to speed with the new way of doing things, okay, and the new way of doing things might just mean that those banks go out of business. It would be chaos at first, but they are criminals. They are the types of people that visit Epstein Island. They are those people. In fact, I believe that could be one of the reasons why we are not seeing, excuse me, we are not seeing complete transparency of this whole Epstein fiasco. Why? Because I believe that at least one big bank is heavily involved with Epstein. Okay? I think so. Some people are using one of the CEOs of one of those big banks who has the initials of JD. I think you can figure out who that is. And they say that, yeah, he's going to be doing it. Meaning the jail time. Or maybe even more severe justice, if you know what I mean. Barry Songer, dip, is it going to zero? I don't think it's going to zero, Barry. Not XRP. XRP has a utility. XRP has a reason to exist. So even if it doesn't hit like the way we want it to hit, it's still going to have somewhere, somehow, utility. So even if the big banks don't onboard it, which I think they've already have. I want to say that at one point we were reporting 500 banks, and that was 6, 8, 10 months ago, maybe even a year. That 500 banks internationally had adopted and had received some sort of serial number from Ripple to conduct transactions on the network. I mean, think about all those transactions that are going over Swift right now. If even 10% of that went to XRP, imagine that. Budman says I'm wearing my Magnum PI shirt. Yes, this is the summer version of Thomas Magnum's famous red and, well, every other color in the book, but mostly red, to match the Ferrari, by the way. To match the Ferrari. Anybody out there? I got something for you. I know a lot of you guys are probably my age. What is Higgins's middle name? Let's see who'll get this first. Joe, do you know Higgins's middle name? Joe doesn't know it, but the Otter does. Why? Because I'm a geek. 1. 2, back where I come from, and you too, Budman, back in suburbs of Buffalo, there were 3 Magnum PI episodes per day. You had the 3, 4, and 5 o'clock reruns of Magnum, and I watched them all. What a geek. Anyway, Matt says the cabal has suppressed. I believe it's suppressed is what you were saying there, XRP. I believe so. Thank you, Jody. You're right on. Ding, 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 ding. Jody gets the big bank winner. Yes, you did say suppressed. Good to see you all out there. I mentioned this. I don't know, everybody wasn't in there, but I mentioned all the crazy stuff going on. And what is not going on? What's not going on? Nobody else is squirting Ilhan Omar with foreign substances. In fact, she would just rather have it that it was all memory hold. Why? Because it was a scam. It was a scam. It never was real. Yeah. What wasn't a scam is the fact she married her brother. What wasn't a scam is that, she's illegally present in the United States. Yeah. I'd like to see her on a plane, on a jet plane. Yes. Going far away, back to her land of Somaliland. Yes. She can do daycare from over there, if you know what I mean. So let's see. We got the Bitcoin, we got gold, we got silver. I don't know what the interest rates are for a house, but I'm hoping you don't need one right now because it's still high. We got that Warsh guy going into the Fed. We're going to see how that all rolls out because some people are saying that, he's just going to be a lackey for Trump, which would be awesome. We will be rolling. Our economy will just chug, man. Yes, but maybe not. We'll see. Whatever may come as far as the Fed goes, but hopefully the Fed does just that. Hopefully the Fed goes. Goodbye, Fed. We don't need you. We didn't want you in 1913. We don't want you today. Okay? We just need as decentralized as our financial system can be. Let's do that. Okay? Bitcoin fans. So if anybody else, hey, Brian, good to see you. Just One of the Guys. We were reminiscing about that the other day. Just One of the Guys. I know you guys know this movie. one of my favorite young actresses of the time. Of course, she's not young anymore, and neither am I. Yes, Joyce Heiser. She never really made it big, and I assume that it's because she didn't want to play with the people that make or break you, like the Weinsteins or the Weinsteins, however you want to pronounce that, of Hollywood. But yeah, she was awesome. Oh, that was great. I really enjoyed that movie. I don't enjoy the movie that Ilhan Omar put on, though. I really wasn't impressed by that. The antagonist wasn't all that scary, especially to little Elon, who's probably about this tall. She could probably pick your pocket with her teeth, right? So she, after this guy squirted her with apple cider vinegar or whatever it was, she gets up, and if you see it from the one angle, she's got her fist up like she's going to clock the guy, and it'll probably get him maybe as bad as a mosquito bite. I don't know. But it was just ridiculous. Sue, good to see you. Dad, if you're watching, good to see you. Jim, Tammy, how you doing? I hope everybody's doing great over there in sunny FLA. Hopefully it's sunny over there. So, other things we do need to talk about, okay? We need to talk about this SAVE Act thing, okay? It went through in the House yesterday. Barely went through. The real struggle is going to be, okay, in the Senate, right? So the communists are in lockstep. I think they only had one person step out. And you know what happened to that lady in Minnesota, don't you? Do you remember that lady? I can't remember her name. Anybody remember her name? Pop up, please. There we go. Matt gets it. Jonathan Quayle Higgins III. He even added the subtitle. Way to go, Matt. Yes, Jonathan Quayle Higgins. So, if you remember, the last episode, they intimated that he was Robin Masters. I don't know if you guys remember that. But anyway, I certainly do. So, what we're talking about here with the SAVE Act is this. Are we or are we not going to get this done as a country? Now, we know that the communists do not want in any way, shape, or form any reform of the current corrupt election system. They don't want that. If we do reform this system, if we do make it a valid system of record for voting purposes, they're done. They're done. There's no way people are going to vote, sane people, are going to vote for the burning down of their cities, blue hair everywhere, checkpoints being put up in their neighborhoods, all this kind of stuff that, the fascist Antifa people, yes, if you want to know what a fascist is, just attach Antifa to their name and you've seen a fascist. Trans-Tifa works too if you want, if you're into that thing. So what I'm seeing right now is that we need to get this SAVE Act done because this is potentially just as important as the presidential election. Why do I say that? Because if the communists were to get the House and the Senate, ladies and gentlemen, it would be chaos. Would we lose our country? No, and no. How do I know this? Because I know that the true but raw dog, I'm talking raw counterinsurgency will ensue. Meaning what the military didn't want to do in the beginning, thereby recruiting Donald Trump to run for president, they will have to do if the regular system just doesn't work. If you and I don't get up off of our keisters, okay, and vote, and if we don't ensure as a nation that our voting system, our votes are secure, our election system is secure, we could lose a lot of life. We're not going to lose the country, okay? The Insurrection Act will be invoked. We'll see, in the big cities, they'll be taken down. The commies will be taken down and rooted out, but it just won't look good. The optics won't be optimal. Jody says, what did I miss in Arizona today? Was it another voter site raid? I don't know. Clue me in. I remember, well, maybe not remember, but I was sleeping during most of the day. So I don't know what happened. Hopefully, Maricopa County is going to be exposed. Carrie Lake is the winner. She won the last 2 or 3 elections. Whatever she ran in, she won it, okay? But that other woman, that dirty woman, she stole it. She stole it. I can't remember her name. It's I don't want it on the tip of my tongue because I'd have to spit. But I can't remember her name. She's just a vile politician. That's probably the worst thing you could call anybody is a politician, right? Jeepers, it's bothering me now. So if anybody has it, please throw it up there. The one that the criminal that goes against Carrie Lake all the time. It starts with a K. Also, I think I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm losing that thread on Arizona. But what do you got, Jody? What happened? Hopefully, it was a voter site raid because we know that it was all corrupt in Maricopa County as well as it was in Philadelphia. It was that way probably in Chicago, but definitely in Atlanta. Fulton County, wowzers. Yeah, we all saw those, votes coming in after the lie was made about the pipe that burst and all that in the arena. And it just never happened, ladies and gents. It never happened. What did happen was theft. What did happen was a coup, a color revolution, if you will. And as you look to Minneapolis, that's exactly what you see also. Those three-letter agencies that steal our tax dollar money and also steal other money, right? They have these computers that make up money, so they don't really need to steal ours anymore. Thought I saw something, not sure. Okay, if you find anything, guys, pop that up there. We're getting some thumbs up over here. Thank you very much. I think that was Frank, not sure, but thank you. So what we're looking at here, ladies and gentlemen, is a situation where these elections need to be locked down. Literally, we need to make sure that these votes are locked in. Whatever a United States citizen votes for needs to be marked down, recorded, and secured. If you're not a United States citizen, go vote in your own country. All right? And if you're a communist, I really, really do hope that all of your bad dreams come true. I really do, because communism is not amenable to the United States of America. It's just not going to happen. We're not going to let it. So the SAVE Act needs to go. What else has been going on? RFK Jr. has been moving and grooving. They want to completely get rid of it. In fact, I think there was a state that completely got rid of vaccine mandates. I think it was Florida. Sue, I don't know if you could tell us anything about that, but I believe Florida got rid of all mandates for vaccines. You want vaccines? You want thimerosal? You want mercury all jammed all up in you? That's fine. It's your right to be poisoned. It is your right to poison your children, okay? Because they're your children. But what about us? What about the people that don't want to hurt our children? We have rights too. And we will do what we want to do with our bodies. And we will take care of our children the way they need to be taken care of by us, not the state, us. Thank you very much for that community message. Yes. Now, RFK Jr. is going good. He's on a roll. We have, who else is on a roll? You know who's not on a roll? Pam Bondi. Wow. When she signed up for that ROLE role, not ROLL, she signed up for a role. Bongino signed up for a role. Kash Patel, a role. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is straight from Central Casting. We're watching a movie. I don't want to get too intricate in all this. We're now, let's see, it's at 6:26 Central Standard Time. So I don't want to get too crazy on this, all right? But the fact of the matter is, we have a situation where people are going in, they're rotating in and rotating out, and they are role players, okay? If you're a female, you have to be presentable, if you know what I mean. If you're a male, you have to be able to speak articulately. So there are patriots around the nation that are willing to sit and be abused like Bongino was, Pam Bondi, right? What about the speaker? Shoot, I can't remember her name. Is it Caitlin? I can't remember, but she's solid. That woman is solid, right? She doesn't back down for anything, and that's who we need. That's the kind of person we need there. Now, where I'm going with this is, ladies and gentlemen, when we look back on this in history, when history is written, we will have, okay, just in the very act of doing what we're doing right now, we are acting in our best civic interest. What do I mean? We are getting out there, right? I don't know how many views. Usually you get a few hundred views throughout the week. Obviously not live, but a few hundred views on the Bitcoin Otter Show weekly, right? So whatever you all are commenting is stored. And what's happening is your comments are being made to a larger group. We are reaching people, not a ton of people. I mean, I'm not Bad Bunny after all, right? Isn't that great? You wouldn't be watching me anyway if I was. Jody says, Bondi, Bongino, Patel are all traitors. Oh, Jody, don't take the black pill, please. Just look at who was the AG in Florida during the Epstein 2008 case. Yes, you're absolutely right. But you know what? Either let's take a little a sidebar here. Let's say I'll play devil's advocate to me and say you're right. Let's say they're really traitors. One, Trump knows who they are. He's not going to make the same mistakes in this admin as he did in the prior one. He's not going to allow traitors to be out from under his thumb. So he's going to keep them close. Maybe Pam's a traitor. I don't know. I'm sure she's not a traitor on the scale of a Barr, right? A Bill Barr, right? Here's what I believe they are. I believe sincerely that they are patriots that are willing to play the role of do-nothings, because that's what they're doing. Nothing. Why are they doing nothing? Because we cannot arrest people yet. I don't have the exhaustive list of corrupt judges out there, but they're popping their ugly heads up everywhere. I can only use real retarded ones like Boasberg, okay? And I don't mean to offend anyone who has mental issues when I compare them to Boasberg. That's not my intent. He is a corrupt, slimy individual. Now, that times 1,000, 10,000, we don't know, Jody. We don't know how many Boasbergs are out there. We arrest all of these clients of Epstein Island. Do you think they're going to serve a minute? Do you think justice will ever be done under the current judiciary? You can't, Jody. You know too much to think that. It's not plausible to think that justice will be served if we make arrests now. Then what happens? They're all released. You cannot go after them again. It's double jeopardy. So I just don't understand. Okay, so great. What central cast, Jody, do you see? So Jody says, not blackpilling, just seeing a different central cast. Okay. Now, let me get your theory here. Do you believe that the casting of Pam Bondi, the casting of Bongino, Kash Patel, and just so you know, Kash Patel is pretty solid with the Q. Just so you know that. The psyops are coming at us, ladies and gentlemen, from a million different directions. For me to pretend how everything was going would be idiotic, and I won't do that. I won't do it. I have way too much respect for all of you. I will not pretend I know what's going on, but I will give my best guess, okay, at what I think is going on. And what I do think is going on is that there are roles that patriots are asked to step into, and it may at times make them look like a traitor. Compile what you will, statistics, past events, whatever. I still think that they are playing a role to better the country. Now, let me go with this, Jody. Hey, Dan, good to see you. Let me go with this, Jody. Let's say they are traitors. Okay, and here's one thing I do want to illustrate. Ladies and gentlemen, with this current paradigm, we have to be a little bit faster. We have to be squirrels that find the nut before the others. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to comment on this stuff. So we're going to have to think bicamerally, meaning we're going to have to think of two different scenarios at the same time, maybe play each other off, one against the other, right? Because we can't lock in. None of us know what's really going on. And I would say that very, very few people actually know what's really, really going on. I am not one of them, and I won't pretend to be. But, Jody, you have a valid statement, because the public behavior of people like Bondi, Kash Patel, Bongino looks to be traitorous. It does. I won't sugarcoat it. Now, let's say El Paso PsyOps was crazy. Yes, sir, Dan. It was. But just to not leave you hanging there, Jody, let's say they are real traitors. Would you think it's possible that they've been flipped? How do I mean that? I mean, may they just play the role that's going to make them crash and burn? And then instead of them getting hung, instead of the electric chair, instead of the firing squad, they get solitary for the rest of their life? Maybe. Maybe they made a deal. I don't know. Anything is possible nowadays. Even the normies are waking up, guys. Have you seen the big Biden was a clone scandal? I don't think he was a clone, ladies and gentlemen, but I do think that there was at least 1 or 2 times when he was wearing a mask. That's me. What do I know? Barry says, well, Cash screwed up the Kirk story. Terrible actors, and they're all lying. You know what? I agree, Barry. I agree. But whether they are patriots serving a role and playing a deceiver, because remember, guys, in war, deceit is necessary. It's not just, an option. It is necessary. Remember when the allies, so to speak, oh, by the way, World War II is completely opposite of what we ever were told or taught. Anyway, remember when the allies blew up the tanks, inflatable tanks, and they had all these, inflatable like cannons and stuff in some place so that when the German spy planes went over, they took pictures of these inflatables. They thought it was a real infantry or a real mechanized unit. That's called deceit, ladies and gentlemen. Even in a narrative 5G or 5D chess, whatever you want to call it, 5th generational warfare, we need deceit to win. Okay? That's why it's so hard to nail these things down right now. And if we all could nail things down, do we want to vocalize it? Probably not. So Dan says, like, WTF happened in El Paso. Which one? Go with that one. I'm not talking. The shooter was in Canada, right? The trans shooter was in Canada. El Paso was. Remind me, Dan. Remind me what El Paso was. I'm trying to. Oh! The stand down. They wouldn't let anybody fly, and they still won't. Right? It's a 10-day thing. 10 days. You can't go in or out via air of El Paso. Yes. What did happen? Did any event happen, Dan? Please fill me in. I haven't been following the El Paso thing, other than to know that it was indeed locked down for any air traffic. I think I remember at some point or another the Chinese had a huge ranch there. In fact, they had an airstrip that was capable of handling any aircraft, known aircraft in the world. 10-day airspace shutdown. Yeah. So I don't know, Dan. I don't know. Lifted 8 hours later. Wow. That's interesting. I'll tell you that much. I thought it was still on. Spec Ops and Juarez? Could be. Now, are you intimating things could kick off with the cartels? I don't know, sir. But everything is pretty much on the table. Sharid drones and Juarez. Sharid drones. Fill me in, Dan. What are Sharid drones? I'm learning something here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm learning. Matt says they said it was cartel drone that entered U.S. airspace and we shot it down. Ooh, was it armed? Was it an armed drone? Something more than just surveillance? This is interesting. Thanks, guys. We're getting filled in live from 97.7 KCYP, the city, McAllen, Texas. We are hopefully learning something new. I know I am. Also heard a balloon. Oh, remember that? The balloon scandal from the Biden days? Gee, should we shoot it down? Oh, Dan says UAP, otherwise known as UFO. They lifted it. Cartel drones is the official story. Wow. There are a lot of people out there that are thinking that this summer is going to be a ramp up of UFO, UAP sightings, right? I don't know. Jody says the emails are definitely showing a different cast and crew when it comes to the FBI and DOJ. The emails are showing the corruption of the agencies. Absolutely. And I just assuming that you're referring to the Epstein ones. Now, remember, let me go back a little bit. Jody, I know you know this. The Epstein files are not new, ladies and gentlemen. The Epstein files came at a great price. What price was that? There was a patriot named Seth Rich. Seth Rich. He was a Bernie Sanders fan. He was a patriot and a fan of Sanders. I don't know how you could beat both of them, but anyway, he was. He saw that Bernie got Bernied. The communists, they call themselves Democrats, they basically sidelined Bernie Sanders for Hillary in 2016. Okay. He saw what happened and he got pissed. He went somewhere, and I'm not a geek with computers. So metadata says that he downloaded, did not hack. That's important. Why? Because the communists said that it was a Russia scandal and Russia stole it. It wasn't Russia. It was a local download to a hard drive or a USB by Seth Rich. He released it to Julian Assange. Julian Assange put it all out on WikiLeaks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Epstein files are old. Okay? It was already out on WikiLeaks years ago. I mean, years ago. Seth Rich got killed for it. Okay? 2 MS-13 members killed him in Washington, D.C. They said it was a robbery, yet they didn't steal his phone, his wallet, or his watch. So you go figure. And those 2 MS people, we're going to use a generic term, were whacked, as is the rule of, 3 degrees of separation, right? Think, Lee Harvey Oswald and Jack Ruby, right? So there was a real shooter. There was Lee Harvey as the patsy, and then Jack Ruby, who was killed right after he killed Lee Harvey. So Dan said laser used on the base that's north of El Paso. So many ideas, says Dan. Biden released 0 EP files, Epstein, right? But Trump released millions of files. Who's protecting who? Oh, of course, yeah. But Trump is still playing the game, guys. He's still playing that thing where he's letting them think that he's in there so that, they demand more visibility of it. So, yeah, back to you, Jody. The emails are showing the corruption in the agencies. Absolutely. At the top, and I actually know some legitimate boots on the ground, patriot FBI guys, but up in D.C., disgusting. It's vile. Look at what they did to people in the pandemic. It wasn't just the FBI, right? But look at what the businesses, look at what our federal agencies did to American citizens in the pandemic. They were ready to lock us down. They really were. And they, even more than they did, right? They brought Assange back to finish the show. Yeah, man, Assange is another rabbit hole to go down. But I'll tell you what, he was protected. However that happened with the embassy and all that, if that was all real, I don't know. But he was protected, and he's been protected since. So before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here, and Jody and Budman, I know you guys are not here, but if you guys are here in the Valley, especially in the McAllen area, I want to recommend a restaurant to you. It's called Bon Galbi. It's a Korean restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to do this. I had a very busy week, but next time I am going to put this up for view and have Joe put the picture. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a Korean restaurant that is spectacular. First of all, you will love the food. Second of all, the only thing you'd be disappointed about is you're not going to be taking any food home. You're going to eat it all there. I know from experience. I discovered it last week. I've been there twice already. Exquisite. So nice, wonderful woman will meet you at the door. Her name's Jomi. She's the owner and the cook, right? She's been in business 2 years. She said this year is slow. Hopefully we will bring her up on that. Ladies and gentlemen, your kids will love it. Your kids will love it. One of my sons changed his favorite from the very first visit. He changed his favorite restaurant of years to Bon Galbi. It's just south of Pecan on 23rd, southwest side of the intersection of Pecan and 23rd is a great. You like kimchi? Wow, this is authentic. This Jomi is literally, she's probably American, but she's Korean descent. She makes the best Korean food. And I've been there, ladies and gents. I know. I've been there. It's authentic. Thank you for that. Matt says the Clinton body count. Oh, yeah, exactly. Jody says they brought Assange back to finish the show. And Barry says Kirk assassination to add to your list of people. Yes. In the Clinton body count, maybe not. I'll tell you what, though, man. Say what you will about the lovely and talented Candace Owens, but she's got some very valid points about that Kirk woman. I'm sure she does. The rabbit hole on that person is deep and twisty. I'll tell you that. You're not going to get out of that without getting dirty. That Erica Kirk is something, I'll tell you. Bulgogi, yes. Dan, go there. Take the family. They will love it, man. They will love it. Bulgogi, you got every entree has awesome rice. I mean, it's very sticky rice. It's not like we here in America think that separated rice is the best thing. No, the sticky rice rules. So you'll love the bulgogi. The kimchi, all of it. It's all good. They got a spicy squid. They got a spicy seafood dish. They've got pork. They got chicken. They got shrimp. You're going to love it. Anyway, let's keep her in business. So going back to Erica Kirk, I don't know how anybody could see her as anything but some sort of asset. She is some sort of asset. When you see her history, she used to brief the three letters. Okay, her history is sordid. I won't say that's a pejorative term. I won't say sordid. Let's just say she has a history. Look it up yourself. Okay. Do I believe everything that Candace is saying about her? I don't know what she's saying. All of it anyway. What I do know is something is not right about that woman. When a widow comes out of a stage with one of those springboards and, gets lifted 6 or 8 feet off the air and, does this, comes down and starts dancing. I'm not a widow. I'm not a widow. But if I was a widow, I don't think I'd do that. At least not in a sequin leotard. Just saying. Jody, Romanian angles came up in the emails and Erica's mother and Raytheon. Yes, and yes. So not only the Romanian thing, but there are also things that put her in the same realm as Epstein, if you know what I mean, right? I don't know, was it Romanian or was she also in Ukraine? I can't remember. It could have been the Romanian thing. But let's just say that there are orphanages and all that kind of stuff going on in her history. Not to say that she is the mover and shaker of all that, but again, ladies and gents, I think she is an app. She's an asset. Not an app, an asset, right? So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, if anything, right? And then you have the whole thing about the crew that was around him. They got a guy now who's got a video that shows 2 of his security group grabbing something immediately after the shooting. The conjecture is everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Everything from some sort of explosive device in the lapel mic to other things. But it seems to me that it can be classified with every other event in its ilk, in its realm, okay, by this theme, that the official story is definitely a lie. That's something we can count on. When something is cemented in the media, we know automatically it's a lie. Okay? And we work back from there. So, Romanian angels, wow. I'll tell you what, in my scope of things, I've met some Romanians. Now, I have love for everybody. But I'll tell you, these Romanians, let's just say if you want to watch, they can get you one by 3 o'clock. If you know what I mean. The Romanians that I've met. They're hustlers. Let's put it that way. Hustlers. Now, does that mean they're all bad? No, not at all. Jody says, it was shut down by the Romanian government when children ended up missing. Raytheon and Israel, everything leads to Israel. I'm not getting in fights with people so much as, how would you say, perhaps a little animated dialogue, if you will. And I'm thinking the Great Awakening is happening, Jody. The Great Awakening is happening. I believe that more and more people will come to see that if you want to know who rules over you, just figure out who you cannot criticize. They have terms for you that the minute you disagree with them, the minute you criticize the people that overrule you, the people that rule over you, you will be labeled. And if you're reading between the lines, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you criticize certain people or certain nation states, you could get away with it. You could do whatever you want. In fact, it's invited or encouraged. But there's one out there that if you criticize them, oh man, your career might be over. Your online presence will be sacked. Okay, you will be, there's trademarks for the name they call you. I'm just saying, I'm just going there. And I went there. So Okay, we got a little bit of time left. What else do you guys want to talk about? That mystery in El Paso, Dan, that is a mystery. And the only thing we have so far is what you guys were mentioning about that drone. And I don't know, there's potentially a China play there, but I don't know. If we think it's coming from the south side, it could be heating up. This whole thing could be heating up. At some point or another, the people on the south side are going to get antsy. And, you know, if one of them gets froggy and hops, I think our guys are ready. I don't want to see that. Certainly not where we live here on the border. I don't want to see what that's going to look like. But I don't have any doubt that American Patriot forces will overcome. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to get too detailed. But, yeah, I think that's something that might happen, right? I don't know how it would kick off. I don't want to know. But we sure are in the danger zone here in McAllen, Texas. But that is what it is. We're in America, and we love it. What are some of the other things, crazy things that went on this week? I don't know. Joe, what do you got? You got anything over there?
No.
We're trying to find anything on YouTube at all? I'm not getting any of that. So one of the things I have been thinking about in a, how would you say, a deeper manner is how we are going to exchange the fake, phony, usurious monetary system for one that serves the people. So I sincerely believe that in the Epstein files are many of these bankers. Jody, you hit on it just a little while ago. And Jody, you know what? One of these days you got to come on the show. All of you guys, by the way, have an open invite to the show. If you're here locally, feel free to come down to the studio. We're at the McAllen Creative Incubator. It used to be the old McAllen Library. Or if you want to do it from the house, that's fine too. We could pipe you in. But there's a lot of stuff going on, and I really do enjoy interviewing people and finding out what it is that they see happening, especially somebody that's been following things and has some sort of coherent theory, be it different from mine, be it wild and crazy. It doesn't matter, because I'll tell you what, whatever the truth is, if it ever shakes out to our notice, it's going to be wild and it's going to be crazy. In fact, it's probably going to be stranger than what we can invent. Just saying that, you know? So, let's see, what do we got? Sue, you're watching? Sue's watching. So this new monetary system, what I'm hoping for is that it happens, and it happens under the Treasury so that we are in control. Hopefully our representatives will actually be true representatives, will be elected. Okay, Jody, whenever, we'll work it out. Jody wants to come on, we'll work it out. We'll get with me. You got my number. We'll work it out, and we'll have a conversation. I can help you, with the beginning of a podcast, perhaps. The more of us that are out there spreading truth, I think the better it is. We are the news now. All of you, thank you for watching, right? So you guys are Barry, Matt, Dan. I see other people coming in and out of the chat, right? Budman, you were here for a little while, and I understand. Everybody's busy. I understand. You come in, you go out. That's fine. I'm not. Please don't get the idea that I'm judging anyone. I just love the fact that you guys are in, and I love the fact that we are the news now, right? So we can discuss things here, and then your next barbecue or your next event or whatever at dinner, and somebody's piping up about how they love Ilhan Omar, and then you can just notify them in a gentle way. Hey, that apple cider vinegar thing? What happened with that? Oh, she's in seclusion. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's hugging her brother because she married him once, or she's hugging that $30 million husband of hers. How do you go from $16,000 or $17,000 in debt to like $30 million? And you know how it works. We all know how it works. So here's what I'm thinking. We go with the financial system from this current system of usury and high interest to a system of tariffs that the ERS, the External Revenue Service, meaning tariffs, duties, the gold card stuff that Trump's been talking about. We immigrate millionaires and billionaires. Isn't that better? How much better is a millionaire or a billionaire immigrating that pays us $1 million to immigrate, right? As opposed to, a city like Minneapolis. You choose. And I know which one you'll choose. It won't be Minneapolis, that's for sure. So what I'm going on about is this, with the financial thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe our children will have much better opportunities than us. I think we will be going into that golden age that Trump talks about. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know, how it's going to shape up. But I do believe that we will be free, financially free, legitimately free, okay? In a sense that I'm in my 50s, have never, ever experienced before. Lord, I would love to be here, Lord. May I please be here for that time. And that again, is truly where it's at. We as a country need to, as the Bible says, humble ourselves, okay? And we need to worship and pray to the creator of all of us and the universe. Because if we don't, we're just going to be like the commies, man. We're just going to be like that crazy woman that picked up the flashbang. Your hand's gone. Come on. We don't want to be like that. So before I sign off, anybody else wants to talk about anything? Pipe up real quick. We could talk about something. But I'm just glad you're here. Thank you for tuning in. I really enjoy what we do here. And I most of all enjoy what you all bring to the show, because Joe and I were talking. I'm doing a crazy amount. You don't want to hear about what my my schedule is like right now, but it's crazy. And I didn't get a chance to do all my notes that I like to have. But, just having the participatory banter that we have every week is awesome. Let me finish out with a verse. This will be the verse of the day. And remember this, when we're talking about communists, we really biblically can't hate them. Sorry to bust your bubble, but biblically we can't hate them. This is out of Corinthians. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Now, where it says always trusts, it doesn't mean love trusts communists. Love trusts God. How do we trust? Well, it's a lifestyle. Can't tell you that I've perfected it, but I love it. I love God, and I trust in him. So, regardless of our theories, we, ladies and gentlemen, will be free someday if we get on the right side. When the king comes back, and if we die before that, we're good too. But when the king comes back, there will be none of this. There will be none of this, ladies and gentlemen. It will not be tolerated. But until then, I wish you a great, blessed day. I wish prosperity on your family, yourselves, your loved ones, everything around you. May you be prosperous in all of your endeavors. May you walk the walk that was placed in this world, in this time for you by God himself. And we all together humble ourselves and pray a prayer for the United States of America. Because as we go, so the world goes. God bless America. God bless you. The Bitcoin Otter is out. Till next week.
This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show
Oh my God, I love you so much.
on 96.